when it comes to the symptoms that a body exhibits, I don't think there's anything scarier than when you feel your body is doing something unusual. It's not normal. Like, for example, you're having spasm, you're having tightness, you're having pain, you're having pressure, you're having pulling, you're having like unusual twitching. Okay, it's very scary to a person, whether you're used to it or not. You know, if you're used to it and it didn't come for a while, all of a sudden something else comes, you will get scared. Okay, so what do you do? What do you do in this case? Okay, a lot of people run to the doctor. Okay, that's their choice. You know, they like to get comfort, and then a week later this happens again. They run to the doctor, gives them pills, give them things, and then they run to the doctor. So some people spend their whole life, or maybe a good portion of their life, going to doctors and hospitals and all that, without understanding what happens, what is happening in their body. So I'm going to give you some insight of my insight throughout my years. I'm going to give you my own explanation, okay? So whether a person has a disease or not, anytime you have a symptoms, whether twitching, whether pain, whether tightness, whether pressure, any kind, okay, of symptoms, it always involves the nerves. The nerves are tight. When the nerves get tight, it creates tension. Okay, those negative thoughts and all that, they all dump tension into the body. When you start thinking over time and all that, they all dump tension in the body. What do they do when they dump tension? This tension accumulates like tighten. Over time, you're not feeling it. You're on the inside, okay? So the area that is most vulnerable in you, that cannot relax this tension, like your body is working fine, is relaxing the tension, but sometimes it cannot keep up with the tension. The stress is way too much, okay? It's dumping more tension, right? So the body cannot take that, in that, you know, a vulnerable area that is not strong enough, cannot take it anymore. So whether the tension is always tightness cause pulling down, okay? Whether to the side cause pulling, whether cause pressure, whether cause pain, whether cause tightness, all symptoms are like that. Okay, without these things that I'm telling you, twitching, whatever, without these things I'm telling you, the person doesn't feel anything is wrong with them. See? It doesn't matter whether they have a disease or not, unless there's a disease that has no symptoms. And you know, I'm talking about in general, okay? If not 95%, you see, because not even the doctors know how many of that, you know. So what involves tension, okay, the only thing you can see, of course, see, let's say someone went to the doctor and they said you have a disease, okay, you have this, you have that. It doesn't matter whether you take it, of course, if you take a medication or something, but not to forget one thing: you need to take something that calms the nerves. Okay, this tension, this is what happens. Okay, not every time a person has tension they have a disease. No, that's not true, because tension builds up, right? And when it builds up, the tension holds back the blood flow, because the blood flow was going like a river, and it's like you build a barricade in front of it, you know, like breaks in front of it, like this tension, layers of breaks, you know, and then it's gonna block the blood flow from coming in to bring you health, because energy, it's in your blood flow. So when your blood flow is unable to get through to that area to heal it, to bring it oxygen, bring it energy, bring it capability, bring it health, because oxygen, nutrients, has health in it, to heal that area, what happens is this layers of tension, as they stack up wherever, because when your negative emotions start dumping this tension into your body, okay, over time, whether from grief, from heartbroken, from betrayal, from abuse, from all that, what happens is they are stacking up, right? So whichever area they target, like they stack up leads over the pancreas, okay? All of a sudden they say, well, you have diabetes, you know. Why? Because pancreas is not functioning right, you know. It's not functioning right. It's like you can walk around the block one time easily, carry weights and see what happens. You're going to be exhausted. You're not going to be as functional, correct? You're not going to be able to do the same like if you didn't have weights. So when you add weight, this tension adds weight, right? It adds weight on any organ, for example. Of course, that doesn't happen overnight, you know, and then when you break up that tension, you're reversing anything or preventing something from happening. And if you have it, let's say all these layers of tension, let's say over time you created 1,000 layers of tension. You don't see them, okay? And all of a sudden, all this weight on the pancreas that is not making the pancreas functioning right, correct? So what happens is the pancreas has weight; it cannot function properly, and this tension always create inflammation that comes with it, which is the negative heat. You see, the tension, I told you, it's like when you are in a room and you close the room, and the room becomes hot. It's that tension. It's like you closed up the area. It closes up, it tenses up the area. As you close it, create heat. So this heat and this tension blocks the energy in your blood flow to come in, which cools the area. It cannot, okay? So that heat makes you want to eat more. That's why a lot of people start putting on weight. You know, start putting on weight. So, and because the more tension you have, the more you want to eat, and the more your body is not processing this tension, not getting rid of the inflammation. So the inflammation is still there, the negative heat. To cool you off, you use food to eat instead of exercise to cool you off. So for example, if the tension around your head, they say they have migraine. If the tension on your chest areas here, sometimes some people feel like they're having a heart attack. What it is, it's an anxiety, okay? That tension, right? They don't have a heart attack. They go to the hospital, rush to the hospital, they don't have a heart attack. They have anxiety right around the breast area for women and here on the side and all that. Some people have chest here, their chest nerves hurt here. Anxiety does that. Tightness, anxiety does that. Pain in the groin area, anxiety does that. Pain in the genitals, anxiety does that, okay? Anxiety can be lasting as long as the pain is there, see? Because it involves the nerves. So when you have tension, it doesn't matter whether this tension already went in advanced area where it was so much pressure, tension was making an area. Let's say if the tension goes our arteries on the body until you have high blood pressure, then you have an anxiety. You see, it all involves, all symptoms, almost all, okay, involves nerves. So when you're dealing with nerves, you know, trace nerves through the tension, right? Tension in your body, these tensions of layers of tension stacked in the body. So the only way to deal with tension, you can take a pill, you can smoke marijuana if you want, it's your choice, okay, as an adult, what to do. I don't advise you on anything. You know what calms you down, okay? You can take, of course, walking around the block is wonderful. But sometimes some people, even walking makes them tense, okay? So it's up to you what you do. But one of the most important thing to get rid of tension is you got to intervene manually. Someone has to rub that chest area if it's tight, here around the throat, but be careful of this area around the throat if it's tight. If you have migraine, you need to rub your head, the nerves in the neck connected there. In the groin area, you have someone to rub you, but that has to be on a regular basis. Why? Because this tension closed up the area. As you rub and break up all that tension, okay, even in your private areas, you know, if it's hurting, you know, all of a sudden you loosen that area, you allow the blood flow to come in to bring oxygen, bring healing into that area, and the area becomes stronger. See, tension put weight on the area, make it non-functional almost. Functional, but it's not as functional. So you got the tension. between the tension, layers of tensions, most people don't know this, okay? Nobody, I believe. You're never gonna hear anybody talking like this, okay? There's knots that connects these layers of knot together. These knots, I identified 3 kinds of knots, okay? There's the knots, the round one that you feel around under the skin, a knot. Like one time I was having pain in my neck, in one part of my body, okay? It doesn't matter what I took, it didn't go away. Until I identified there's a knot. When I rubbed it off, I dissolved it slowly with time, the pain is gone. This is a true story, okay? The pain is gone. So manually, you've got to break up the knot. You can go like this, you can go like this, you can go like this. It doesn't matter how, whatever make you comfortable. Don't go hard in the beginning, go soft, and let your body allows you to go deeper and deeper, okay? So the knot and the tension. And as you dissolve them, the layers of tension below comes up and you remove them. So this, for example, if you have 1,000, all of a sudden you're getting 999, 909. You can't count them, but you will tell you're getting feeling better and better, you know, but this is happening underneath the skin, you know, with your hands, or someone else's hands is better because they're different energy. So that rubbing or massaging, okay, or some people don't like when you be touched. You can buy something that vibrate or a massager or something, you know, whatever. You need to interfere to break up this knot. If you don't break it up, it will stay with you for the rest of your life. Okay? And knot, the second kind of knot is if you ignore it, they form knots together as a cluster. So when you break up a cluster, you are breaking up multiple knots at the same time. When you break up a cluster, you feel so much relief, unbelievable. Like your neck is being held, and then when you break up a cluster, you feel knots like that. You feel you can move your neck. It's incredible. It's like the difference between day and night in a matter of seconds. Okay? In a matter of seconds. And your fear of your body will diminish drastically. You won't fear it. Because you know, whatever it is, whether you're disease or not, this layers of tension, as you dissolve them, you are lessening, whether it's a disease, the intensity and the strength of the disease. You're working it down, because the disease is as strong as these layers of tension. So as you break them down, you bring them down, you are really bringing down you're lifting the pressure. See, because when they were like this so much pressure on an organ, you know, above the organ, so much pressure on it. When you reduce them, less pressure. So the part of the body that is not functioning right began to function right, because you lifted a lot of pressure on it. And by doing this, breaking up the tension, what happens is you eat less, because less tension means less inflammation. That means you eat less. You don't have that need to eat more to cool off the area, because you have less tension. And exercise, that's the second thing. So rubbing or massaging and exercise that bring more blood flow, which is represent the oxygen that cools off the area. See, and sweeping its way all that tension. After you break up that tension, what happens is the inflammation in between, because these two come together and leave together. Anytime, remember when I told you when there is a room, you close the windows, it becomes hot. They come together and leave together. So when you open the window, the heat is gone. The same thing, when the tension comes in, it brings with it the heat, because it's in it, trapped in it. When you get rid of the tension, it's like you open the windows, the heat start leaving. But it doesn't leave outside the body. It floats and like inside the body. Some of it leave, but when you follow it with the exercise, you bring the blood flow, it pushes it out. And by sweating and all that, it exits the inflammation, pushes it out of your body. That's what happens, okay? So that's the second thing. Now, some people want to calm their body. Now, meditation. Meditation, they use it. But meditation calm the nerves, but it fails to break up the knots. Here we go again. The knot will remain in your body. I don't care how much meditation you do, it's not going to do it. If you don't go in and break them up, it's not going to go away. Okay? So it's like someone says, I want you to build this building, by looking at it, by thinking about it. You can't. You gotta go hands-on. Okay, the same thing. Or I want you to destroy this building. It's like destroying a nut or breaking up the nut. How are you going to do that? By looking at it or by having something, like a pill or some? You can't. You got to break up the nut. It may diminish it a little bit, but it's not going to go away until you break up the nut. In the human body, who knows how many over the years you accumulate in your body nuts. So you got a cluster. If you leave it, it will form a cluster. Okay, so now there's another kind of a nut, which is long one. If you feel under the skin, you feel it long, and when you go like that, it goes back and forth, but it's a longer one. That also takes time, but loosening the area is the key. Any tight area, you loosen it, you reduce the pain in it. See, there's no magic into this. This is something I discovered over the years, many, many years, because my passion was in it. I became obsessed over what troubles people's bodies, because I want my mom to be healthy. I want to be healthy. I want, so I mean, the medication, that's another science, another thing. Okay, I'm giving you something, whether this is aside from that, okay, something natural that you can do. Of course, ask your doctor if that suits you or not, because I mean, who doesn't want to be touched? Okay, you tell me. Or who is there anything against touching yourself like that if you're breaking up? But I mean, of course, if somebody touches you, it's better because a different energy, So the thing is don't be scared immediately of your body. And if you get scared immediately you know that tension creates anxiety. There's some symptoms, tension create anxiety. So I see people taking medications for all sorts of things, but they don't take with them anything to calm them down against anxiety, which is symptoms. When you're in pain, it makes you anxious, scared. Scared is connecting to anxiety. Everything is interconnected, anything interconnected. But some people say, no, that's not an anxiety. Anxiety, there are all kinds of anxieties. There's all kinds of levels of anxiety. Everybody experiences differently. So, some people feel tightness in their throat. They may have a thyroid, they may not, but it doesn't matter if they have thyroid or not. Rubbing the area, it diminishes the strength of the problem and lift the weight off that organ. It makes it function better over time. And if you don't have thyroid, rubbing it because anxiety or anxious, that makes you feel like you have power over your body. You have something. Not immediately run to every doctor, run every hospital, come on, operate on me, There are some things you can do. Of course, you can have, check with the doctor, but I'm giving you something like you can do. Like, for example, all of a sudden you woke up, you can't move your back, okay? Or you can't move your shoulder, you can't move your arm. And it's nothing but pain or spasm that makes you anxious, make you scared, right? With fear comes anxiety. And it's at levels of anxiety, right? So this is basically what I need to let you know. I gave you this information to comfort you, to give you the tool to feel that you have the power to do something about something. Okay? Like, let's say you felt twitch right here. Okay? You rub it over time with walking and rubbing. You'll see it start going away. It get better. Instead of leaving it just like that and being scared for what? Things that calm you down is good. Whatever you need to do, that's not my business, but I'm just giving you the knowledge I gained that is natural, and it should help you cope over your fear, overcome your fear of your body, so you're not terrified of your body. Because a lot of people are like, when they're healthy, they feel fearless, which is true. Immediately when pain comes, they become, because pain, anytime there is pain, there is fear. See? And there is fear, there's anxiety. Those are connected, interconnected together. So some people may say, no, that's not how. Of course it is. Just because you don't see the object that you're fearing, it doesn't mean there is no fear inside of you. but it's connected to some kind of object, whether a sickness, whether an animal, whether a thing, whether you're being triggered by something. So this is the session for today, and I appreciate you listening. And if you like this video, please subscribe so you can get more videos from me. Thank you.